Good day, well citizens. This is your friend, brother, Ktweredua. Today is the 1st of January 2023, according to the Gregorian calendar. And I'm here to review what I've done so far since I launched this channel 4 months ago, I believe. I'm getting old, so you forgive me if I should make a mistake, because you can never check. I had sort of the encouragement to launch this channel and to talk about my religion, because it's a primary responsibility of every Baha'i to talk about the faith of Baha'u'llah, because in the Baha'i faith we don't have a priest. Therefore, the responsibility and the onus is on every individual Baha'i to spread the message, to discuss the message, to teach the message, and to make sure that the objective of the Baha'i faith, which is world unity, will be achieved. It is something that a lot of us will think that, oh, this cannot be because you're so divided. Now, you're wrong if you think that way, because there is something in us as human beings that we don't tend to unravel, so to speak, because we've kind of been blind of it and we'll be thinking of something else. We mostly think about the material nature and forget about the spiritual aspect of life, because some people believe there's no God. Some believe that, oh, we are here once and therefore we should enjoy and go. But we don't think of why we're here. You know, we just happen to, by order of science and procreation, if we can put it that way, that we happen to be here. Therefore, we have to reflect as to why we are here at all. What's the purpose? Are we just here to satisfy some desires and go away? Or are we here for a very important purpose as human beings? We have to think about all these things. And therefore, when I launched my channel, I remember I started with some devotional. I spoke about, because there was this great crisis, so I spoke about the mad machine, and I addressed the world leaders that they keep saying that world crisis, but I see the solution that they're trying to use in solving the problem is individualistic. And to me, I don't understand, because if you have something that is world crisis, the solution should be world solution. So I gave a suggestion that all the world leaders should come together, and if they come together, they should involve their partners, which I know that most of the world leaders are men, and their wives who then follow them, and they will take decisions, because as I explained in some of my discussions with you, I spoke about the human. As a human being, we consist of two different entities. That's a man and woman. And I explained to you that Baha'u'llah, describe man and woman as two wings of a bird. And I used the bird, one powerful bird, the eagle. And I said that if one wing is broken, the eagle cannot fly. And therefore, there should be that balance so that the world of humanity can fly. without any problem. So I also spoke about heaven and hell. Heaven and hell made simple. And I used the analogy of Abdu'l Baha again and explain what is meant by, heaven or hell. And I used a very simplistic way of a story to describe. And I think we can all go back and look at the video again and see the explanation I gave. I also spoke about women being in the helm of affairs. The world of humanity can be transformed. And I believe strongly in that because women are, the aspect of the human nature. If we can take it in context, that a human being have the wing of a woman and the wing of a man. That wing of a woman is the one that sort of like nature us, give us breast milk and, help our thinking faculty, for our brains to develop and all that. And therefore, we should put more emphasis on that. And one thing that I also realize is that it is up to them to shape the world if they want the world to be in a position where we can have the straight path. It depends on them, and I believe strongly in that. And my reason being that they are, the entities that really shape us when we're young. We listen to our mothers because we are so connected with them. We're so attached. After all, we came from the womb and we're attached for a long time, for 6 months or whatever. I don't know. I don't have that scientific knowledge to explain what the embryonic, stage development, the fetus and all that. I don't know, but at least I know that there is this connection of the embryonic cord. Is that what you call it? I don't know. That cord that kind of like feed the baby, in the womb, and then we born. So they have, an attachment that is something very, 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 very important that sort of drive humanity to what we are to be in. And I remember I used the British Parliament of 650 MPs and said that, if 400 of them are women, I don't think that we would have witnessed the Iraq war, because no woman, and I repeat that, no woman will ever vote for their son or daughter to go and fight and possibly be killed in a war. No, I don't believe that. No one can convince me. Some, but majority of them will strongly disapprove of their wards, going to war to fight and die and be killed. No. So these are some of the things. And I also spoke about football because I like football. And, one thing that as human beings we should look at is why we're here, as I said earlier. And that God is in everything. So it doesn't matter what you believe in. You may not realize that God is in whatever you do. God is in football. God is in our work. God is in everything. God is everywhere. I remember when I was a kid, I used to be frightened of hellfire. And my dad called me and my brother one day and sat us down and, asked us a very simple question. He said, "Look at me, son. Do you think that you ever disobey me or do something wrong and I'll kill you. He said, no, Dad, you can't do that. You wouldn't do that. He said, oh, yeah, is that so? Okay. So if I wouldn't do that, then how can God do that? God wouldn't do that because God is more merciful. God is more compassionate. God is more patient. And if I, human being, with all the shortcomings, wouldn't do that, how come that God will put you in hellfire just because you've disobeyed him? Now, so these are some of the things that we always have to sit down and think, reflect, if we really want to, advance in our development as we go nearer to God. Because God is not just going to church and, God is practical, it's rational. It should make sense. Otherwise, nobody will believe it. Perhaps people don't believe in God is the reason being the way God is portrayed in many spheres. Because God should be rational. God should make sense. Because God is science. God is practical. God is environment. See, everything that we see around us is the creation of God and is part of God. And perhaps even the name God kind of sways a little bit. So if you don't like the name God, you can use any other name. Yahweh, for instance, Allah. That would be equally good. So friends, as we just entered 2023, January 1st today, we have to think to be good. Because the more we think of something good, the reflection will be positive. So we always have to think positively. That doesn't mean that, negative things won't happen. It will happen. But I think we've been designed as human beings to kind of like withstand these things. And therefore, we shouldn't be so much discouraged when these things happen in your life. So, as I said, women, it is up to you. I have a plan, and my plan is that if women want to change the world, they can do it because we listen to our moms. And let's say, for instance, if the women today start from kids who are 5 years old now, and then teach them the right virtues, how they want them to behave, especially the boys, how they want them to behave towards women. Because let's face it, there's this disparity between men and women. I mean, we say emancipation of women, but we haven't come anywhere closer to that emancipation, especially in some parts of the world. It's horrible. I mean, if you hear news about what is happening in Iran, for instance, it's despicable. It doesn't make sense. And it sort of like turns my hair around and say that, oh, are we so barbaric to behave that way? And that should be happening. So the woman, it is your responsibility to shape us, to teach us the good things. So that if we are looking at it strategically, in 20 years' time, through your teachings and the good virtues that will feed kids who are now 5 years old, who will be 25 in 20 years' time, there will be a significant, very, very, very significant reward. And the effect will be enormous. and the effect will be very, 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 very positive. So women, it is up to you to act and shape the world. God bless all of us. As I sign off, I will say that please subscribe to my channel, Ktweredua, and pass a comment, share with your friends, and we shall meet again. Thank you. Bye for now. Bye-bye.